Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back to my channel. And yes, today's show is a continuation of my conversation with Mr. Francesc Millares, the author of the famous book Ikigai. Now, if you have an Ikigai of becoming an author or a writer, he's here to give you tips as to become a good writer. Come, let us talk to him and learn from him how to become a good writer. Come. Your tips for aspiring authors. How many drafts do you make for your novels?
I don't do many drafts because I've been writing a lot. The last 22 years, I've been writing constantly. And because of that, you get speed, you get security, you get fluency. So what I do normally is that I have a very clear idea of what I want to write, and then I write it directly, and my draft is very similar to the final one. So my process is this. Imagine that today I must write something. Actually, I've been writing about wabi-sabi, that is a Japanese concept. Then I write chapter today. So 5 pages, 7, I don't know. And then tomorrow, I will reread this chapter. I will correct some things. That's all. Then when the book is finished, I give it to the publisher. So sometimes I have only one correction, maybe two. But because my style is not playing with the words, is not poetry, I try to be as simple and clear as possible. So with a couple of drafts is enough for me.
Okay. And do you focus on any number of words which you have to write every day?
No, it would be very stressful. Sometimes I focus in chapters. If I am writing an essay and this essay has 50 chapters, or I don't know, and every chapter has 5 pages, I try to do a chapter a day. Because the thing is that every chapter is a unity of meaning in an essay or also in a novel. So if you leave it in the middle, tomorrow it will be difficult to go to the point because you have lost the thread of thought that brought you there. So I prefer to write longer, finish the chapter, finish this unit, and then tomorrow I will see if I need to add something or I need to erase some part of that. So I try to do it this way.
Okay, and generally it is said that a writer must read. So how much focus do you give on reading?
My problem is that I work for newspapers and magazines as a psychology writer. So because of that, I need to read many books for that. Because when a new book is in the market, at a new tendency, the other day I was writing about a Korean monk that had become famous in the United States. I had to read his book to see what he writes, and then I am reading a lot of books about spirituality, psychology, self-development, because I write about these topics in the newspaper. But when I am free, when I am traveling, I try to read novels that inspire me and that I can have a good time with them. So I like stories that are surprising or that are touching in some aspect. And I have problems sometimes to find this kind of novels or this kind of movies even, because I see that even in Netflix, stories are very similar one to the other. You see one series and the other is like a little copy of that one. And it is a lack of imagination and originality into the world. And because of that, sometimes I'm watching older movies. Yesterday night, I was watching The Boy in the Plastic Bubble. I don't know if you know that story. It's a real story of a boy didn't have any immune system and had to live into a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that kind of story. So to imagine a life totally different from us and how a person can feel in this situation.
Okay, and according to you, you have written fiction also. So, what should a person keep in mind when a writer starts writing a book? He should plan every chapter, or it should come naturally, or the writer should know the end. What is your opinion on this?
It's said that there are two kinds of fiction writers: the writers with a map and the writers with a compass.
Okay.
The writers with a compass normally are very experienced people who have written a lot of novels, and then they don't need a perfect plan to do that. So maybe they know the characters, they know the start of the story, maybe then they know some direction, but they improvise, and every day they write, and depending on what happens, that they develop the story. That's said, writing with a compass. Writing with a map is having a plan, and having a plan means that you know almost what happens in every chapter. Where are the turns of the story? What are the cliffhangers? What will be the development of the characters? And so normally, if you are not very, very experienced, I recommend always to have a map. And to have a map, you need before to do a lot of documentation about the place in which the story takes place, the time. If it's nowadays, okay. If it's 20 years ago, you need a lot of information of that. And to know exactly how every character is going to develop. And then you can write this kind of script of the novel.
My last question is, what is that one tip you want to give an aspiring author who is struggling?
One tip that I would give is to search for feedback in good friends. When I say good friends, friends who know how to read. It's no use that you give your chapter or your tale or your book to your mother and you say, okay, you did it very well. No, or that you give it to somebody who thinks that is a big writer and is only criticizing. It's also useless. You need to have 1-2 good commentors, a couple of readers, friends of you, who can point what is good and what could be better. Somebody who reads your story and say, I enjoyed so much this character, I enjoyed so much this moment of your novel. I would love that this secondary character was more important because I like very much that. I think this story could be explained longer. I think I would love that this and that happens. And so that's maybe the most important tool that a writer can have. To have some people, even if it's only one, that can give advice of what is going very well and what could be better and what can they suggest that you can do. Because then it's like having a kind of audience, and this audience is pointing you what is going well and what is going not so well.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your tips. And I am sure my writers and my aspiring writers here would have learned so much from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So we were in conversation with Mr. Francesc Millares, the author of the famous book Ikigai. In case you have any other questions for him, perhaps you could email me on my email address given below. And yes, if you have, I'll be waiting for your comments. Do share in your comments and do tune in every day in my show, which is at 7:30 p.m. and I'll be waiting for you every day. But before that, you need to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. Lots and lots of love to all my subscribers. Thank you so much.